Hi, hello, welcome to another raid build video. We're still talking about Mewtwo, and I have two new builds for Mewtwo. You can see one of them on the screen right now. That's also old Steve there, probably yelling at his Twitch chat. We'll try to get through this as quick as possible. So the 7-star Mewtwo is out. I put out a video last week on how to do that. It seems like almost everyone on the internet came to the same conclusion of Sword Stance Leech Life is one of the best combinations to use against Mewtwo, as well as Struggle Bug being one of the moves to control Mewtwo's high special attack. The other thing I saw on the internet was people complaining that they would like to see other Pokemon or use other Pokemon that isn't Mew. Now, the great thing and why so many people are using Mew is because Mew gets a 20% stat boost for all of its stats, except its HP stat, where it gets a 50% stat boost. So if you have a max HP Mew, your final stat would be 404, and then when you go into the battle with Mewtwo, your stat would jump to 606, which is a lot. That's a lot of HP. The final thing, I saw a lot of things on the internet, but the final thing I saw on the internet was Mewtwo takes really long to do. It is a slog. So not only do I have two Pokemon that aren't Mew that you can use against Mewtwo, but both of these Pokemon, this is the exciting part, make this raid go about twice as fast. I would say that most people with an optimal strategy will end Mewtwo with about 25%, give or take, of the timer left. In testing all of these yesterday, multiple times, we ended with about 50 to 60% of the timer left. That's very, very fast. Now, I know somebody's going to run to the comments and say, I saw somebody solo it. Cool. That's not what this video is about. That is probably the opposite of what I want, because that is as slow as possible. The whole point of these two raid builds is to speed up the process. So yes, do this with friends. The other thing is I did see that somebody was able to one-shot Mewtwo with a Mew and a Shadow Rider Calyrex, a Japanese player. Also, they ended that with 10% of the timer left. So again, not particularly fast. Also, it relied on a lot of RNG. There is no RNG here. There is no luck here. These two builds are incredibly consistent. They will make you defeat Mewtwo a lot quicker. And if you have a bunch of people who have attack Mews, these work perfect with the attack Mews. I'm going to start with my favorite first, so there's no weird clickbait here. And we're going to talk about Umbreon. Umbreon with a dark type Terra, which it can be any Terra, honestly, because you don't have to Terra this. You don't have to Terra any of these Pokemon. So Umbreon with the dark type Terra, it will have Snarl, Screech, Helping Hand, and Taunt. And then if you really want, you could do Light Screen or Mud Slap. I think the 4 moves here are great. It will be the Sassy nature, and then it's a support Pokemon here. 252 HP, 252 special defense, 4 special attack. Now, I know what you're thinking. Steve, Mewtwo has Aura Sphere. That's true. Umbreon's weak against it. Umbreon's a bulky boy, though. So the EVs are laid out the way they are. Well, they're pretty simple EVs. If there's no Light Screen, if there's no Struggle Bugs or Snarls, Umbreon will survive 4 Aura Spheres before it faints. Assuming that Mewtwo doesn't have a plus special attack. So that's nothing on our side, nothing on Mewtwo's side. It will survive 4. Obviously, if Mewtwo has one Calm Mind, I think it's 3. When there's a Light Screen up, and when Mewtwo is a -1, you will survive about 7 to 8 Aura Spheres. And then obviously, when Mewtwo goes down to -3, -4, -5, Umbreon's going to be impossible to faint. Unless you get unless Mewtwo gets 2 critical hits in a row. Umbreon's really easy to play too. So if you have a friend who's struggling with Mewtwo, you might want to suggest to them to bring Umbreon. It's really, really easy to play. So 2 of the moves you can't even use until the shield is broken, which is Screech and Taunt. That's the later half. So ultimately what Umbreon's going to do is it's going to keep snarling, and then as soon as one of those Mews Terrasilize, which is the Sword Stance Leech Life Mews, or whatever. I mean, it could be Sword Stance Shadow Claw Mew as well, or Sword Stance Crunch Mew, depending if they're Dark or Ghost. You're going to Helping Hand those, and then they'll do a little bit more damage faster. This is part of why you will be able to defeat Mewtwo faster, is with these Helping Hands. Now, as soon as the Raid Shield breaks, this is the second half, where you will Taunt, unless somebody else is going to Taunt, which is fine, and then you will Screech. And Screeching will bring Mewtwo's defense down to -2, -4, -6, and then instead of those Mews needing to re-Swords Dance again, they just keep attacking, and your raid is over because you're using the Screeches. They're continuing to attack. So let's think about this logically. Logically, the shield breaks, Mewtwo resets everyone's stats. Both, let's say there's 2 attacking Mews. Both those Mews are going to Swords Dance 3 times, and then they're going to attack probably about 3 times. In this situation, they're just going to keep attacking. You're going to Screech 2 to 3 times, and then Mewtwo's dead. So you're really completing the raid 3 to 4 turns faster with Umbreon. Now, the item here, which is really cool, is Zoom Lens. I never see anyone talking about Zoom Lens. If you watch any of my old raid build videos, I use Zoom Lens all the time. It's like the fact that people keep recommending Leftovers, which I will stress that Leftovers is a terrible raid item. It's not good. It's bad. The fact that people keep suggesting items like Leftovers, but no one ever suggests Zoom Lens is beyond me. So Zoom Lens gives you a 20% accuracy boost if you go second. Umbreon will always go second. It will never outspeed Mewtwo. It's too slow. So that means you get your Snarl goes from 95% to 100%, and then your Screech goes from 85% also to 100%, or maybe it's like 98%. It's Screech's downfall is it's not super accurate. Also, that's Snarl's downfall is it's not super accurate. But Zoom Lens makes these moves incredibly accurate. And you don't need anything else. You don't need Leftovers. You don't need black glasses. You don't need anything else for this. I did try an Umbreon with Assurance, where if you get hit, Assurance will double the damage back, but Umbreon's physical defense, or physical attack, is still not good enough for Assurance to really work. So you're better off just helping handing instead of insurancing. So Screech and Taunt do not work when the Raid Shield is up. As soon as the Raid Shield is broken, you Taunt, you Screech 3 times, the raid is over. If there's a support Mew standing next to you with like life doing stuff, obviously when the shield breaks, they're going to just keep on struggle bugging. If the attack Mews want to also struggle bug, that's cool too. I've also had instances where like I Screech 3 times knowing I'm going to faint, but that's fine because you have so much timer left that you Screech 3 times, you faint, and by the time you come back in, Mewtwo's defeated because the other 2 attack Mews just do enough damage so fast. It's insane how much damage they do with the Screech. I think Umbreon's really, really great. There was probably a video playing behind me talking the whole time of watching me do that. So one of my favorite Pokemon to help people get through Mewtwo raids as fast as possible. So if you're watching this video and you're still struggling with Mewtwo, I am streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming pretty much every evening. I don't stream on Wednesdays though, to help as many people get through Mewtwo as possible. You don't have to bring this Umbreon. You can bring your Mew. I've mostly been using Umbreon to help carry people through. But the perfect combination is 2 attack Mews, Umbreon, and then like a support Pokemon, like a Mew using Life Dew / Light Screen, all that stuff. So if you also made it this far in the video, feel free to comment, like, subscribe. Comment if you want more Pokemon against Mewtwo, or if you found a Pokemon that happens to work as well. Or just comment anything. It really helps out. It really truly does. And I appreciate everyone who watched my Mewtwo video a couple days ago. The second Pokemon I built is Oranguru. I don't know how to say his name. I watched the anime and then promptly forgot how they said it in the anime. Another Pokemon that you do not need to Terastallize. So going back to the first part where people were a little frustrated that Mew was like the only viable choice. Not true. Like I said earlier, there was like a Shadow Rider Calyrex that did really well. Umbreon, or Oranguru. There's like a couple other Pokemon I'm forgetting off the top of my head. But I think the frustration of only using Mew is people not having enough Terra Shards or not having enough candy or anything like that. So both of these, Umbreon and Oranguru, you do not have to Terastallize at all. Terastallizing doesn't change the outcome of this fight. For you, it doesn't let you reduce more damage. You just don't have to do it. These are just support Pokemon that really help. So the moveset here is Instruct, Light Screen, Taunt, Bulldoze with the Impish nature. You could do Body Slam if you want to fish for paralysis. You could do Trick Room instead of Bulldoze if you want to do that. The Trick Room's a little tricky though, because some people build their Mews to outspeed Mewtwo, so Bulldoze probably a little better there. Anyways, 200 EVs in HP, 208 in defense, 100 in special defense. I did try a couple EV spreads. It seems like Mewtwo just wants to spam Psy Strike here, so that's why we want the defense to be higher. There is a couple times where it just randomly throws an Aura Sphere or an Ice Beam. It's pretty rare, but that's why there's a little bit in special defense. And then that's why the EVs are the way it is. Okay, so how does this work? So you see the light clay and the light screen. That gives, light screen goes from 5 turns to 8 turns. You see the taunt here, just like Umbreon. Or any Pokemon that has taunt, you only use taunt once the shield is broken. You probably only have to taunt once or twice to stop the Calm Mind. Bulldoze is the speed control. I talked about this in my last Mewtwo video where Mew has Pounce. Pounce and Bulldoze do the same thing. It lowers the speed step by 1 stage. The reason you would do that is because Mew's base speed 100, Mewtwo is base speed 150. So by bulldozing or pouncing once, every single Mew will end up outspeeding Mewtwo, which is really good for Mews that are doing Life Dew. It's really good to go Leech Life first instead of Leech Life second. Speed doesn't matter a lot in raids, but in this situation, it does matter a little bit because of Life Dew and because of wanting to get health before getting hit. I explained that more in depth in my last video, so I won't bore you with the same explanation in this video. Just go watch that last video, I guess, if you really care about speed control. Everyone knows what light screen does. The bread and butter here is Instruct. Just like Umbreon, the whole point of this build is to get the Mewtwo done faster. So when a Pokemon standing next to you uses Sword Stance, you can hit Instruct and they will promptly use Sword Stance again. So that means instead of spending 3 turns to Sword Stance, they will only spend 2 turns Sword Stancing and then getting to the same result of +6. They'll Sword Stance, you'll Instruct, they'll Sword Stance that last time, and then you Sword Dance the next Pokemon, assuming there are 2 attack Mews next to you. And now both of these Mews are +6 in 2 turns instead of +6 in 3 turns. So you can see how that ends up going a little bit faster. And then, of course, in the second half of the raid, after you taunt the Mewtwo, you can Instruct for those Sword Stances again, or just Instruct to force them to do double Leech Life. Now, the reason why Umbreon is my favorite compared to Oranguru, I used Oranguru a couple times, had good success with both of these Pokemon. We did 4 hours with both of these Pokemon. I piloted both these Pokemon for 4 hours, and every raid was successful with them. We didn't fail a single raid. They were super great. The only problem I don't like Oranguru as much is Instruct. This is just a more complicated Pokemon to use. So it requires a little more communication, right? If you are going to assume they're going to Sword Stance and you hit Instruct, but instead they Struggle Bug, you're just giving them 2 Struggle Bugs, which isn't like the worst thing in the world, but it's like, oh, I saw the other person Sword Stance, I should have instructed them. This Pokemon's not as good with like randoms or people without mics compared to Umbreon. I think the skill ceiling on Oranguru is a lot higher. Like you can do a lot more cooler and controlling things because of Instruct. But if it relies on kind of knowing what your team is doing and understanding what's happening there, right? Like you go to Instruct, but that Mew is heal cheering. It's like, okay, well, that didn't work out as planned. So it's still a really great Pokemon, right? It's still really good. If you're playing with people where you know exactly their playstyle and you're helping carry other people through, so you always know that, little Billy over here got his Sword Stances in order, so you can Instruct those properly. That's great. You might have an Oranguru from a past build. So that's also part of the reason why I'm recommending Oranguru. Oranguru works in other raids besides Mewtwo. So I guess maybe you already have an Oranguru, or you can make one, and then it's really good in 6-star raids as well, assuming if you play with the same people. And if there's an Iron Hands next to you and they belly drum, you can Instruct them to belly drum again, and they're probably going to faint because that's 100% HP. So, hey, if you want to make Iron Hands faint, you can Instruct their belly drum twice. They're super powerful, but then they're also dead, so they got to re-belly drum again. So, hey, if you made it to the end of the video, there you go. So here you are. Here are 2 different Pokemon. I might have 2 more in the works, but I don't know how much people will care about different Pokemon, because maybe people did their one Mewtwo, and then they're done for the day, which is totally understandable. But if you're still struggling with Mewtwo, hopefully this video helped. Otherwise, go back to my other video where I help. Or come over to the Twitch stream, where if you have questions or you just need help, or there's a bunch of people in the Discord that they have extra candy, they have extra shards, they have extra held items. So if you don't have enough TMs or you don't have enough candy, there have been people in the Discord that you trade them their Mew, they'll help you power up your Mew, and they'll trade it right back to you. So we really want to help as many people get Mewtwo as possible. There is no catch. You don't have to give me money. You don't have to pay to jump in line. Everything I'm doing is free. If you want to pay me back, I don't know, share this video with a friend. But I saw that also in my Twitch streams where they're like, the streamer said I have to give them my Twitch Prime to get in line. None of that. I want to help as many people as possible. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. I'll see you in Twitch or I'll see you here in the comments. But thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.